We've been talking about Turkey being accused of sort of coddling ISIS or not being strong enough against ISIS or being sort of indifferent to ISIS, etc. And with regard to oil, we've been hearing accusations that ISIS oil is going to Turkey and being sold at really, really low prices, which would make Turkey in some sense complicit in supporting ISIS. We now have a specific allegation, and that's all it is for now, that there is, quote, evidence of the sale of ISIS oil to Turkey. That allegation comes from Russian intelligence officers who say they've spotted about 12,000 tanker trucks carrying oil parked at the Turkey-Iraqi border. Now, this is by no means an open and shut case. Russian intelligence says they identified the oil route during some reconnaissance missions, and Russia says that the vehicle's final destination was Turkey, and they believe that it is ISIS oil going to Turkey through Iraq and being sold at low prices there. Now, the problem with this hypothesis is a very, very clear one when you look at a map of the region. And the Iraqi Kurds say, this is our oil going to Turkey, not the Islamic State's oil that is parked at the border. So this is one of those situations, Lewis, where will we ever know the truth? Maybe not. Many people hear the story and they say, anything Russia says, I just wouldn't believe. Okay, well, that's certainly one reaction. The other reaction is the Kurds have no reason to lie, and there's no downside to them taking responsibility for, excuse me, for this oil. So that would be a case to be built that Russia has the impetus to lie. They want to build this case. What's your sense of the story?
I agree that the Kurds don't really have any reason to lie. The Kurds are combating ISIS. And I at the same time, it's would Turkey be buying oil off of the Kurds? I don't know.
That's the next question,
Yeah.
which is, would Turkey be buying oil from the Kurds? And when we take a look at the map, the Russians claim they track the oil from Deir ez-Zor province, which is reportedly an ISIS stronghold. But if you draw a reasonable line from that province into Turkey through the Iraqi border that is being discussed here, it's hard to do that without going through Kurdish territory. And then the obvious question is, with 12,000 of these trucks, would 12,000 trucks really be able to get through Kurdish territory unabated when the Kurds, if they were aware of these trucks, would certainly act to prevent them from getting through? Something does not sound quite right here.
Yes, it's a strange story. I don't think that Russia has no reason to lie. I think Russia is a shady character in this whole thing. And
Russia's primary goal seems to be to support Assad, right? I mean,
Right.
They claim it's all about fighting ISIS, but when we look at their actions in Syria, they've been going after not only ISIS, but also non-ISIS groups. So that suggests their priority is really doing anything to prevent Assad from being kicked out of power. And I agree with you. If we focus mostly on motive, there seems to be a motive here for Russia to lie, although we want to be careful. Motive alone does not a lie make.
Right, but I can understand from Turkey's point of view that incredibly cheap oil is appealing no matter where it's coming from. I mean, that might be a very hard deal to turn down.
President Erdogan, as we know, is increasingly against the internet. Is he increasingly in favor of outrageously cheap oil? That is really the question, and I think the answer is probably yes.